What is up, everybody? This is not the double shot. I'm your caster for jumping in tonight for the OCS Arena Grand Finals. However, speaking of the double shot, what's up, Whiskey Glitter? Oh shit, that didn't update. Oh. Dude, I mean, it has been a long buildup of a season, match after match, dude. I'm glad to see, though, the Encore team, who I kind of heard were a little bit of the underdogs, make this push up. Yeah, exactly. So, speaking of a beautiful map pool, the best of 5 tonight, we're coming at you with a great set. Consulate, Cafe, Border, Nighthaven Labs, following that in is Chalet. Dude, I am as hyped as I can be for this. I mean, who wouldn't love Fortress right now, dude? It's been very, very high up on people's picks. But I'm glad it's not. I haven't done enough research yet. I'm still reading into it just a little bit. So, give me the old school. Give me Nighthaven. That's the map everybody's getting bored of. Give me Chalet. That's the old, square box style that we come to love in maps like Chalet, like Clubhouse. I like the OG setups that we've been seeing. Absolutely, but the teams are ready to go, Mr. Glitter, so we're going to be diving straight into Consulate here. Dude, as far as BO5s go, I think Consulate is a perfect opener map, because it's going to be a very good, I guess, picker of the mental. It's going to be what kind of sets that whole, mindset alive, you know what I mean?
The big fun part for me on Consulate as a consummate first map. It really, the story is going to start to be told by where are the bans, who's getting banned out for this, because we've seen some spicy ones on this one recently, right? There's been, I mean, we've seen smoke bans on the defense, which is outside of Fortress, just not seeing a ton of. Outside of Fortress or Border, not seeing a ton of that sort of ban going, so it can get very targeted, especially if there's any VOD, from them playing it last time.
I mean, VOD review has become, I almost want to call it a dead art in today's scene. There's not as much of it as there used to be at one point, and I miss it. That's what made teams kind of stand apart from one another, right? Oh, fuck me. You think so? Dude, that's one thing I gotta give a lot of these T4 teams I've been talking to lately, is the amount of VOD reviewing I've been watching. Like, I'm good buddies with the Malevolent Esports company, so they've been just going ham on VOD reviews lately. I'm like, you know what, good for you, because that's gonna set you apart from the 2 or 3 teams who really don't in this scene.
Yeah. Now we were talking about potential spicy bans here. I'd like to point it out right out the gate. No surprise on the attack side, the Ying and the Grim taking off. We could see that on any number of maps. But the Goyo ban, this is something that Whiskey Run had talked about probably like 6 or 7 months ago. That this will start to be a norm because he's part of that Legion of Doom or Boom, whatever you want to call it, for the 3 defender setup. Taking him off the board, that's going to open up a lot of avenues, and it's going to make it tough to dictate some of the pace here, but it does leave some fun operators on the board for sure.
I believe that you guys were calling them the Holy Trinity of Time Denial, or the Triforce Trifecta of Time Denial. I've heard that tossed around a couple times.
Yeah, we're trying to find the right fit for it.
Hey, it's hard to coin a perfect term, you know? Time Denial, though, is on point. You see what I see on here right now for Sprite? The Tachanka. I'm gonna die on this hill. Strongest operator in the game. And I know you've been wanting to battle about this one.
No, I don't want to battle. You're just allowed to be wrong. You don't see Tachanka bans because he's not the strongest operator. But as the Goyo is banned out, you do have to accommodate for some area denial. So Tachanka on the board, not a bad call. Would have liked to see the smoke because it's a little bit more controllable for sure. But I'd actually, the combo move is what we're looking for here. The thing is when you ban out the Goyo and the Clash, it leaves you a couple of keys on the board. And outside of the Tachanka, we're looking at the Azami and the Mira. And this is what's probably huge for me. The static trench warfare of Azami backed up by the C4 and long distance capabilities of the Mira. This will get tough. Maybe not as crazy on the top floor, although we're already seeing a compy Mira setup here. But for sure when we get down onto those first floors. Sheesh.
Dude, that was a ballsy peek right there out of Evan trying to get, I believe that was Toodalois over on the, oh boy, my brain, I'm sick and it's not working me today. Either way, good spring out, but Toodalois to shut him down off the windows. Early picks too, especially taking out your Azami first pick. That's like the best active utility in the game, just gone immediately.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's lovely because there's all those keep a bears that are going to be left on the board. Now somebody can come up and take that spot and help keep that pressure on, but Ace is going to make sure that they open up and have a chance to take admin over. This is a huge play. Now a little bit one-directional or dimensional here, and once they find themselves in the hands of close to where that Denari is, could be a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, that Denari setup, dude, I'm telling you, I've been stating it all week. People are breaking out protractors to set up these lines of sight, and I don't hate it. We're getting to see the big brain mathematicians making their plays finally on something other than a stat board. Toodalois up for a double kill though as he swings Caleb down. And say goodbye to your Denaris, right? I mean, it's now easy pickings if you don't have somebody to actively play him. Slash eats a ton of damage over in Meeting Room. Desmond eats some as well. But Slash will get that pick up onto Toodalois, shutting down his reign of terror in this map.
Yeah, okay, so main advantage does sit into the hands of Encore with less than 60 to get it done here, but the thing is, there's still that stopping power, right? You're still seeing the Mira on the board. I'm not sure if she has a C4 still in hand or not, but she's still got that long-range capability.
Yeah, that C4 should be massive here. However, we do see a lot of picks moving around on the other side of the map. Nano, up full HP, has got to make this push forward if he wants to help his team out. However, Disma is there. Good positioning, fries down Screwy. Coming around, Goza going for the plant. Nano's got to take this one early, I think. Keep their blitz up, because that low HP for a blitz in this scenario may not work out quite the way they intended to here. Blitz is strong, but maybe not the strongest.
Oh, man, stuck on the door, and that's going to be one that haunts you, at least here on round one. And Blitz is just a bullet here, so potentially hits one of those trip connectors. It's Gonzo Garbanzo. Now into a 1v2. Got to have 7 seconds on the board to be able to get that defuse properly. So Panic starting to push in, and doesn't look like there's going to be much of an opportunity to bring this one back. With your Spearhead, the Blitz still on the board.
Yeah, the Blitz doesn't even have to really take much of a fight here. Just keep dancing around, being passive. It's already over as the attacking Encore team sets on the show for first round in their bag. Thought I got
Okay,
hiccups.
so dramatic first round here. Did that sight over, which is to be expected. Now, here's the question. If you're Atlantis, there's one of two mind frames here, right? For you either have the, you know what, we know what went wrong on that. We know how to fix it. We're going to immediately run it back. Or do you keep the routine going, right? When do you go on to the next site and then address it after the round rotate?
I think you do keep your rotation of sites going. You gotta keep mixing the bag up here. If you get stale, you play stagnant, you go back to the same place. Oh, excuse me. You're gonna feed it right into what they want you to do. They know how to push that. They've showed that off once already. So throw them a curveball, go somewhere else. If you do choose to go back up top, don't set it back up normal. Again, curveballs, make it screwy, make it different. Right now, though, they are playing hopefully a hard-off extension as they do have footholds prepped all around piano room. Dude, the vertical for this bomb site, that basement setup, is absolutely king. As long as they're able to keep backside pressure away, that is.
Well, that's one of the problems with keeping that Mira on board when you're banning out a clash or your area denial is this becomes a veritable fortress that you have to get through at least main breach side, which means in the way that they did a singular line of attack on the last one, this one will have to be split up a little bit more, right? We're either going to need to see that vertical being held by the attacking team or potentially coming into that secret area, right? But it's got to be more than one push or it's potential to just get stymied right out the gate.
Well, we will be watching them attempt a push here for the single secret wall. But a bandit trick to juggle batteries should be a good thing to shut that down, right? He's going to be super hard to clear.
Yeah, potentially. If we've got some nades or something, some flashes on the board, and they're going to start to force him back at least for sure, and there it is, right? Not in a position to be able to trick that again if they get it opened up. And, well, there it is. That's part of it, secret. But we're all kind of locked into that backside take outside of Ash, who has made their way into that first floor visa. So, oh, and now the Aurora. So they are bringing that split push here, and this could be huge unless they don't account for Slash here.
Well, Slash is in the prime kingmaker position for his team. If he's able to pick up both of these Screwy and Tootalois as they walk it in, that's, I want to say, over half of their attacking pressure gone. And we're going to watch Tootalois just run straight through. We'll wear it down. Goodbye to most of that execute, and just like that, Slash is gone into the night. Not even a thought or a worry about this attacking Screwy coming at him. But, I mean, I like the move. Just start pushing basement. You lost your boy. Don't worry about what's behind you. Just keep moving forward. It might bite you later, but for right now, it doesn't sting as bad. And Dame will find Slash anyway. So suddenly, you now have Ash who's pushed deep in any free take.
Yeah, potentially, right? But now you've given away your location and you're completely isolated from the rest of your team. No Monty to back you up, no refrag potential if you don't quite hit your shot. So a little bit of a dangerous situation. Less than 60 on the board as you're starting to see them kind of all get into the same check those same boxes and get ready for the execute. Coming down spiral. Now Monty's finally made his way down there to help push towards that area and some vertical to be had as well. The problem I'm feeling, is it too little too late?
Well, they are burning a lot of time. We're 30 seconds in. Screwy, though, does find a pick through that vertical, and the push forward needs to happen now. Monty will be taking that charge almost immediately, running the K down, getting past the first nitro of the bandit, but he is dropped. We see Dame go down. Screwy is still alive, though, and there is that shotgun. The TCSG just deals so much damage. Nano up in the 1v1. There is the good bandit,
I'd say now into a 1v1 therefore. This was kind of what that moment was breaking down into, right? Is that a bunch of isolated engagements that ultimately is going to give the defense the round. So now they're going to take it up. Instead of test on Tersh, take it back up to the 2F, and this is where you have to have that adaptation. This is where the big test will come in for Atlantis if they're able to overcome what happened last time. Looks like we're running just about the same setup.
Well, I mean, they always say if it ain't broken, don't try and fix it, but we did see this defense fail once. However, I don't think it was much of an operator choice failure, more or less just a breakdown and a hard push attack.
Yeah, it was a couple of isolated engagements, right? The first one is taken off the window on you know, kind of a questionable peak, right? You definitely want to hold them off for sure, but not at the expense of your life. So if they maintain that sight over just a little bit longer, potentially that one does go in the other direction. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. God, I just had to go cough for a second. Oh, Glitter, you got this.
All right, here we go. Chat. We're getting into it. 1-1 as we're tied up and looking for that first bit of engagement. You said it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, there's a little room to grow on this one. They've got a pretty extensive hold with the Denari, really making effective use of these trip connectors. They're long. They're taking up a ton of space, and since we're bringing that spearhead in, the blitz, that's going to be one of the main focal points, is keeping that space as long as possible. And it's looking like, as the attack is getting started, we're definitely going to see another one of those site overtakes, although it looks like a little less presence on this side this time.
Yeah, we just love Evan, though, going to be that main point of aggression for this defense. And I mean, he goes for an overswing. It could cost him. Once again, he goes for it this time. Ripping the head off Tootalois and stopping now. Defense, back it off a touch. You know, you got the pressure, quarter turn back. Now you're safe, right? Either way, good hold so far. And thanks for covering the start of that round for me. I had to lean over and die in my corner.
Oh, that's funny. I'm sorry you're feeling sick, but soldiering through for the grand finals, you know, that's passion.
You know, I'm here for my boys. The guys on Atlantis were just like begging me to come in and cast. So I told them I had to, and I told them give me $3 grand, and they said no. So I showed up anyway, because, you know, first impressions, right?
Well, we're looking at quite a bit better hold here out of the defense, as we now are just slightly over a minute left, and they have failed to take the space that they took before, and they've really leaned into this. Almost everybody outside of Striker is in that side of the map. Now, talk about Nanos, and Striker is going to be rewarded with a double, his first two, and that's going to give the man advantage. So, whoopsie-doo on the caster curse there. Two members of Atlantis find themselves and their lives forfeit. And then again, the grenade's going to ring out. It's going to take us into a 4v2. A quick answer back, though. Tachanka's able to find one, and now we're in an old-fashioned 2v2 showdown.
Well, I mean, in the showdown, the best thing you can have is just time on your side. A C4 in pocket, as well as Tachanka fires. That should be able to buy them, I want to say, these next 30 seconds, as long as Goza doesn't go up and get super aggressive. But here they come, running down, deciding the mirror as easy as first down he goes. Screwy picks that one, though. Oh, just got to deny the blitz a little bit, don't you? Planner is going out. Tachanka's moving up, trying to take some aggression forward. But Screwy has this great angle here just to hold him in and Encore win another attack.
Man, it's tough when it comes down to the Tachanka. If you're rocking the LMG, right? It's a slower gun. Yes, it's got enough bullets to get the job done. Yes, it's got punching power, but it's slow, right? So in that 1v2 scenario, not able to deny the plant, not able to take a clean angle, and that's going to see Encore take the second floor twice in a row.
I'm sorry, did I hear Tachanka slander in your voice right there? No.
Almost always.
We're not going to have that here. Tachanka is just a god amongst men, dude. If he was shirtless, he would have won that round. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know. It came down to him twice to win up on the top floor, and both times he was absolutely destroyed. When they brought the smoke on basement, Atlantis found a win.
Well, that's because they went to basement. See, you got to bring that into the equation. A smoke up in that situation, it gets fried down just as hard.
No way. SMG-11 is way quicker. You can have the angle, and you can deny the blitz that's planting right on the mirror window. You don't even have to be close. On one side of it, and you find yourself to stop.
But you don't have the aura that the Tachanka has.
Your argument is invalid.
That is absolutely a valid argument. Aura wins games. Just look at stomping.
Nope. Moving on. Moving on. You lost it. On the board now for the defense, Atlantis is going to go sans the smoke, sans the Tachanka, and this time they're going to lean into that intel, right? You're going to see Mozzie and Solus on the board to really try to facilitate the knowledge of where that push is going to be happening. Try to deny some of that plant. One of the other things here, though, this the castle and the Fenrir together is a pace setter here, right? They're really going to be trying to dictate speed and kind of control where the attackers are allowed to push in. I really like this setup.
See, I've always been an absolute diehard castle advocate. There was a long time where you wouldn't even see him. People did not like him. The UMP was trash. The castle barricades are trash. But that's only when you're in low ranks, low competitive, right? Castle, perfect for speed, perfect correlation, perfect for correcting an over-aggressive attack. Then they added Fenrir in, and it just became an unholy nightmare of, you know, well, quite literally nightmares. You run into a castle barricade, and there's another just minute wasted.
First minute it's ticked down. Lion Ping's going to go out and try to reveal some locations, and it does. Evan gets taken off the board. An unfortunate kill as part of that post plant is gone. Part of that intel is now taken care of. Now, they still got a couple of people up on the top floor, so vertical over. Still going to be a difficult situation for this defense because of that castle extension. Thing is, they've brought along some tools to help aid in that process. As the diffuser is currently cold, this is going to be all gunfights, not wanting to lose it in a spot that's going to be unattainable up top.
I believe that diffuser was brought in and thrown down. That way they could move it across the vertical a little bit easier, get a late game hatch drop, rather than risking losing it over here on this side of the building. You know, that is kind of dangerous. Screwy, though, taking that entry frag role like I've been told he loves to play, straight to heart, running in on him. And it's still a good defensive hold, though. Slash is not giving up anything. There's a shotgun to the face of Dame just to clear him out a little bit quicker. And now Sprite over here in the consulate office, holding his own little quick tight angle. Disma looking for some long-range shots. Sprite is pre-fired and gunned down by Goza, though. It's up to Disma to maybe take his reswing if he needs it. Slash is out as well. Tootaloy's taking him. They got quick clear across that long desk, and that just fried down this defense. And Goza is Himothy with that DMR in his hands.
Man, all of a sudden it's a 1v3. Things just fall apart absolutely on the top floors. They're just absolutely dealt with. So now a little bit of time to get in and get a drone fixed towards where is Caleb sitting. He's 0-3. This is his chance to be that legend. 30 seconds to go.
Well, I would say he's the Legend 27, but I don't think he's quite achieved that status. He clutches this up. We'll call him the Legend 3 because that'll be a 3K in the pocket to bring him up. Positive on the boards, too. The Ace, though, does not want to make that an opportunity even available to him as there's 10 seconds left. They're going for the breach, and really, they need to start going for the swings here. Goza moving up, wanting the kill. However, Caleb to find his first nano right in behind those Encore. Just being very, I guess, dictative of these attacks. They want that pace that they want the speed, and they're bringing hard aggression to make sure they get it.
Here's the thing I love about it. It's the buddy system in play, right? You know that you have 3 members sitting up onto the second floor. You know that the vertical is going to have to be dealt with because you can't safely plant on the turf site for that. So what do? Just overwhelming force, right? Continue to make those isolated kills, pushing up very aggressively. Screwy on the Twitch was really instrumental in taking a bunch of that space, kind of pushing without fear of life, and found some incredible real estate for it. Then they find those isolations, and then all of a sudden it's a Dundada Ciabatta. You find yourself another round, and we're looking at potentially that 4-2 split on the attacker side of Consulate. That was something we were talking about in the pre-show. If a team is well coordinated, if their comms are solid, you can make this the attacker side, and they're doing just that.
I know this map has always been kind of one that goes against the grain. Most maps do fall heavy defensive, but right now, I mean, you brought up before too. I'm looking at a 5-1 the way Encore's been playing this.
I think they walked away with it.
You got faith they're going to pull this defense?
Yeah, one of the things they did last time was stall immediately, right? And for longevity, they want to lean into that strat, and this time they're going to do it with the tuber out as well. So it's that extra strong stopping power. Now Slash back up onto the second floor. He got himself a free pick onto the Ram last time. Probably not going to be as easy of a first kill, but they have got stopping power. They have got pace setters on the board, and if Slash can really deny some time up here, yeah, he's going to be a real force to be reckoned with.
Well, it looks like they don't want to let him get any time involved, though, as the pings are coming out from Deimos. Slash does get away from it safely for now. Caleb also joining him up on the roam. I think between an Oryx and a smoke, you should have no trouble locking areas down and being able to move away freely as you want. But the attack may just entirely bypass them, as they're already taking full crossover for Consulate Office. And now it might just be a quick, easy push down the stairs if they want it.
Well, they do have the intel that there's more than one up top, and as we're now in our first minute, that's going to be a huge first kill. They're going to take the Sludge off the board. That's going to mean some of the... Nice answer back. That was going to mean that some of that extension utility going to stay in play. Huge pick, though. You're taking the area denial off the board, and while there's still while there's only a minute and 38 left, he did do a bunch of time. That was your post plan that you just completely locked out on here. That's a tough one.
Sorry, that ram is just really, really loud. Yeah, you removed a lot of that attacking utility side. And now, with Wall trying to come open, they still have Disma on board to deny with those 2 brow charges. Dame will find Evan up above, though, but I don't want to call that a useless pick. I mean, every pick for an attacking side is a good one. But there's no utility left in Evan's pocket besides just a pretty decent gun. So it's not a bad pick for a good pick for that attacking team, right?
I mean, yeah, he did his job, right? The claws are down. You know, yes, you remove the C4, but here's one on the board. Gonna look for it, can't quite find it. Still gonna maintain that man advantage. 43 seconds now as it starts to count down, and they're still trying to get that wall open. The vertical has been taken, so pressure can definitely start to be put on. But the hatch is also not opened up, and there's no can openers, right? Has to rely on Thermite to open it up, and they're not gonna be able to do it right at this moment. So it's going to be a big rest on the shoulders. Oh man, C4 rings out. It's going to stop. It's going to be a big rest on those on this last little bit of play, and hopefully that vertical is going to be able to stop it. It's going to be a post-plant scenario here with 10 seconds left, and that is one. Disma's able to take it off the board. Nanos goes down, but it's a post-plant scenario now for... It's all danger zone here for Atlantis as they try to retake.
Yeah, suddenly that 6th man's no longer on your team. Disma did get a great rip straight into the head of Nano. Another one to the body of Tudalois, but that 50 cal just isn't dealing quite as high as it used to. And I don't think he's going to be able to clutch this one out, man. A 1v3 fighting against Vertical. Tudalois there watching and waiting for him. Just going to close that one out. Giving Encore that one step closer to the 5-1 I was seeing.
Yeah, I liked the attempt at having a roaming smoke. It's kind of inventive. You know, there's new people trying it out. It's a great opportunity to smoke and slowly work your way back to sight. But when you get caught off guard like that, man, just a wasted pick here. Now, what we're seeing on the defense now as they take it back up to the top, they're going to lean into the area denial, and I think this is where the real win strat is here, right? Bring out the Tachanka and the smoke, and now you got yourself a solid hold. They can cross the map, right? And they recognized they could have stopped that plant earlier if they still had some smoke bays in hand. So this time, yeah, they're going to bring it along. This is a good adaptation by Atlantis. We'll see if it works out, though.
I'm really hoping it does. This has been a very good and competitive map 1 so far. And, I mean, there's only one way to keep a good competitive map going. That's just you know, gonna win 1 or 2, right? Keep up some momentum for the team.
Absolutely. All right, who are we looking at here? Attacker side, going to lean into that Deimos play. We didn't really talk about those bans that went out for the 3rd set. took the shield off the board, as that blitz has kind of been a namesake here for Encore. Instead, they're going to have to lean into the Monty play now. And then on the other side of it, Bandit, as they were doing a great job of keeping those walls closed, and that's what's forcing that cave play. On the mute here for the defense is going to be one of those intel deny sort of operators, because they are just using their drone economy incredibly well, right? Knowing exactly where the defenders are when they're making that push, and it's able to allow them to push with confidence. So mute going to help stop that process.
Yeah, there's been a lot of really, really good droning from the side of Encore. I noticed that earlier on, a couple good, easy picks from it. I'm expecting, though, that even though they have a mute on board, it really ain't going to add up and stack up to that much of a denial for the way that these drones have been coming in. And there's just that many of them, and it's only a mute jammer. That's an easy one-tap when you need it. Either way, though, the Demo's still going to be useful, though, as when you go after the guy who's bringing a little bit of a roam at that point, they don't have a jammer set up for a roamer, right?
I don't think they do. Well, no, they definitely don't, because he's able to fully lock onto him. Deimos knows exactly now that Denari's sitting up on or sitting down on that first floor, a little bit of that lurk in play. So they're gonna have an idea, and now it's gonna be C4. That could have been interesting. Gets off the windows. It's a little bit knowledgeable. Here's the rip and is like, not today.
I can't tell what kind of push we're about to witness. It looks like it's setting up for a quick plant, but at the same time, it's also setting up they're baiting for windows. And then for some reason, we had a guy clearing earlier on. I think Encore is a little bit confused about the play call that they were given, or that they're getting for themselves. Either way, I'm here for it. Caleb's getting aggressive.
Check it out right? It's not set up for a quick plant. It's just set up for an execute. What we talked about 2F for attacking it is that you can't be so one-sided and linear. This is an adaptation. This is a mid-game adaptation they made where they're attacking multiple levels. This allows them to put the pressure onto those area denial operators, taking smoke down early, taking the mute off the board, denying C4 and the smoke canisters. Tachanka's going to find that kill, but it all starts to fall apart as yet. When you do the split push, you have to be well coordinated, and this time they get absolutely handled.
Oh yeah, a big part of that round was one downstairs by Caleb, getting rid of that Deimos, who was kind of going to be their post-plant warrior, you know? Someone you can just then start targeting, locking down and walking down everybody. Atlantis does pick up a good 4-2 split. It's in the other team's favor, but you're attacking now for a map that we started to call the notorious attacker-sided map. Or infamous.
Can be. That's the beauty of where Rainbow Siege 6 sits at the moment. Is if the I'm also tired, my guy. Rainbow Six Siege, thank you. Is that if you have that longevity, and let's reference Pro League like FaZe, Furia, keeping these teams, these cores teams together, provides you with that chemistry. When your chemistry is up, your comms are there. When your comms are there, coordination is at a high point, and it leads to attacker wins straight up. So 4-2 split is going to see it, and yeah, a little bit attacker-sided.
Wow. That was a whole lot of breakdown, and I understood 95% of it until you said Furia and FaZe. I'm like, who are those losers? We only root for SSG around here. Either way.
There's a reason that the Brazilians are the most feared region in Rainbow Six currently, right? There's a reason that most Pro League teams have one Brazilian on them, either as a player or a staff. It's because the Brazilian Siege at this moment understands the assignment.
A lot of their play I enjoy watching because they're a lot more direct, and I don't want to say direct and indirect. But their attacks and their preparation, yeah, I was about to say they're surgically precise. They're exactly where you need them to be. They play cutoffs really, really well, and they force a lot of rotates. That's Brazilian Siege right now, peak and pinnacle. However, Cards was saying that the APAC region is on the come up.
Well, at least Daystar, right? Daystar doesn't get grouped, and that's huge. That was huge for Daystar. Oh, chase the sun, as they say. Yeah, we're seeing some APAC drama for sure. I'm enjoying it. SI has been insane for sure.
Well, looking at Encore's defense, they're taking an immediately different route than what we said, route, whatever you want to call it, than what Atlantis did. ripping that basement off early and then not keeping any vertical pressure up above. This is something I've seen bite a lot of teams in the backside, though. You give up all your vertical. You give them 2.5 minutes to just sit there and poke and prod at your defense. Things tend to get a little bit ugly when you do that. Finally, though, Screwy, Goza, and Dame will go up and start trying to reclaim a little bit.
Yeah, I like this. We talk about the bands here. They're also going to lean into that Goyo, which is, of course, one of those huge operators for slowing you down. But this time, instead of the Clash, they take the mirror off the board. But when you do that, Clash is allowed to be here. Now, a roaming Clash solo is an interesting pick, right? You do have a little bit of help as Azami is close and Malusi on the spiral, but still fairly isolated here as they're heading up to the second floor all by themselves.
Well, I think she's just going up there to be the bait for this team right now. She is burning some utility out. We got Caleb, though, walking up the flank side of him. Finds a free one onto Screwy. Almost the backside of Clash there. Goza needs to start using this as his fallback point. Instead, he's going to continue trying to run up, shock, and be aggressive. And I don't think they got anyone there, but Slash is able to find a good one onto Tuchulos. First floor becoming almost immediately the attacker's favor. A minute left on board to start ripping up on the floor. They've got a lot of time for a heavy execute if they want it.
Absolutely. Plenty of time to get some drones active, figure out where these last couple of members are, and then put yourself in a position to protect the president. Starting to open up some of that vertical now as they're going to look for an isolation here, and it is the defenders kind of pushed back, so going to be a little bit harder to see them as they're in that hallway. They're in the kitchen area. Well, there's one of them. Nano's going to go down as it's going to take us into a 4-2 with 45.
What sucks about losing Atlanta where you just did is he was your coverage guy for Goza there. Now it is up to Dame, who's going to be running up. He needs to clear the vertical. Goza is dropping that shield, though. He's not worried about it. Keep the gun up in this situation. And he's planning to do just that. Swinger be swung meta. Loses the shield immediately, though. That was almost comedic timing there from Disma.
Man, it's similar to that, a triple kill for Slash. Going crazy right now as they take another shot towards it. Evan's able to clean it up. And, it's almost that play similar to how you see the Osa shields, those Talon shields being dealt with where you impact, and then make a swing. But it was reversed this time. Gone six in a swing. And they definitely walk away with a win. We're one away from tying this one up for.
One away from tying it up, though, or it could be 3 to the end sprint for Encore. I mean, Siege is just, it's scary like that, man. A best of one can go for an hour.
Attackers need to
we got 5 hours of Siege. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Potentially. And going back and forth, man, might be. You might be in for the long haul on this one.
I will go find some Dayquil and chug over a quarter bottle of it. So speaking of round time, though, I seen you begin into Rocket League. I think the most appealing part of Rocket League to me, voice crack, is how fast-paced and quick the games can go and come and go.
That's been a fun one. Best of 5, best of 7. You're done in 30 minutes. The whole story is told. Yeah, but it lacks that same sort of strategy. Jeez, I almost messed that one up pretty good. It lacks it lacks that same sort of strategy that you see in this diverse game, right? Siege is very unique in its ability to be continuously fluid and moving and changing, and that can lead to some very long games if two metas collide with each other, and kind of looking at that here on this second floor as well, right? They kind of leaning into the same strat. Screw's gonna go onto the smoke this time, but still gonna be holding on quite long. The big one though, the highlight, all the way down in the basement. Lamai is gonna look to try to find one.
I mean, Slash got in there a little bit over-aggressive for what you would see most Flores players do. Flores, he's typically a kind of stand back, let my teammates attack. I'll just send the drones in as they're needed, call in an airstrike if you want to. But to see Slash try and entry frag that, it immediately cost him his life to Tuchulos.
Man, must have seen something that he liked, right? It's hard to know what the comms are on that kind of situation, especially because Flores is such a vital part to taking this mid site space, right, for the site over. Now, how are we going to deal with the deployableness there, especially since Wamai's made the rotate back up, and 3 discs are going to lock it into play. They know the floor isn't dead. They know they've locked this area in.
Yeah, there's almost nothing on this board that can get rid of that shield. However, Disma does have his fire still. If they're able to burn a couple more of these pieces of utility out, grenades could also be an option. They do have one more left on the side of Caleb. It's going to come out. Oh, they did save it, thankfully, for time. Flashbang's useless, though, as Wharton is the one holding. Smokes aren't being deployed over from Screwy. But on the walk-up, oh, is that Evan I see down there? An ace being aggressive? What is this, Brazil?
I love it. Still 2 smoke canisters in hand, and honestly, just absolutely denying this great invisible wall that is pushing from admin over. They get some fire out, but is not going to do enough damage as smoke goes into the default again, and that's going to be both of them used up now. 40 seconds left. See if they're going to be able to hold on. There it is. Screwy again. SMG-11 is going to find a kill. Dame to take one as well, as he's made his triple, his third. And it's going to all put it on to Disma here, trying to bring this one back. A 1v4 as they find one. On pace for the ace.
Well,
or at least has to be.
I was going to say, he kind of has to be in this situation. I've seen Disma lock it in, though, pretty hard sometimes. So a 1v4 is still manageable. I just don't think it is with only 10 seconds left as Dame puts himself, what, a 4K that round? Like,
that's right. We're breaking out the barbecue sauce for that 4-piece, baby. Just absolutely locked in. And a little bit unaware, right? Down in the basement, maybe not sussed out by the drones, maybe didn't bring enough, util to quite deal with them. And then he has the lurk all the way back up top, and he's rewarded with a 4-piece. Absolutely banger play.
So barbecue sauce, huh? That's one of your words, ain't it?
No, barbecue sauce, no, dude. That's my phrase,
call you out on
bro.
that one. Thanks for your arthritis.
No, that's one of my phrases, man. Break out the barbecue sauce. Really? You never heard that? Fake fan. Fake fan.
I am, honestly. I don't. What's the double shot?
Yeah, never heard of them.
Never even watched them. I'm only subscribed so I can get the charm when it comes out.
W.
I mean, hey. Siege needs to get on that. Come on, Ubisoft. These guys are the goats of the tier 3, 4, 2. They don't even. They transcended the tiers by now. Where's the charm?
W play.
I'm gonna make that.
W play.
I'm definitely
4.
not just glazing, but
a little bit disastrous here, right? I mean, you're down 4-2 on the split. Encore, who's been firing on all cylinders, is now 1 away from that first match point scenario. And now they take it up top, and they're going to lean into that same sort of theory, that same sort of denial, right? Smokes on the board, pace setters with the Banshees, and of course, that pivotal play down below, the Pulse. This one could be a big play if left to his own devices.
I was gonna say, he even has, I believe, the shotgun on as well, mixing up with that pistol. That is an absolute meta of a loadout. Getting the live pings over for Ash. C4 definitely gonna be his main go-to, I think, here. But he just has to be a little bit careful about where everything else is around him. Onto the free tile floors. You know he wants it. You know he sniffs it. But, ooh, more illustrious target. Someone standing still on drones. Going for it. Yeet. Good night to your Ram. That's your vertical dead now. Suddenly, this floor becomes a lot harder to play with. Except, I mean, Ash is still on board. She is a okay operator for that, I guess. But really not someone you would want to use all their utility for opening floors, right? That's what your Ram was supposed to be doing right now. Instead, she's watching cams.
Yeah, tough first kill. Exactly what we talked about, right? Left to their own devices, Pulse is going to be an absolute monster. Caleb's going to get a ton of damage now, but a bullet is going to find another one. Disma goes down, and this is a tough situation now for Atlantis as they find themselves not only down in the man advantage, but down in the scoreline advantage, and time's starting to tick away. Pulse, again, going to find another kill as he's good for 2, coming out with the Reaper and being devastating. And here's the thing. You got 2 people left and all smoke canisters, all operators still alive. I think we're looking at a match point scenario here.
I got a feeling we might be. Tuchelo's had quite the stellar play there too, dude. He got in there, managed to sneak himself away and hide behind into that little death window. But Double pickup for Slash. Once that third, he smells it coming from a mile away. I mean, is there at least a 3-piece combo meal that you can get? Isn't that Dairy Queen?
Yeah, but only if you're clutching it up, baby, and you got some work to do, my friend. Pulse is on tech, and now you have to get down to the first floor. Now you have to actually start working, right? And so how do you deal with it? I don't know if there's a way that you bring this back outside of being phenomenal. 3 smoke canisters is going to stop a lot of that forward progress, and a shotgun in hand isn't going to even be needed to bring them out. Nano's going to find it, and it is a match point scenario for Encore.
I mean, that was an absolute... Well, I don't want to think of a good metaphor for this. That was just Mount Everest standing in front of Ash right there, and there's really not a whole lot she could do. I mean, utility-wise, she was already pretty much expended. Only a running gun, but with 1 HP, your running gun has a lot less run to it. It was just an awful situation to be pinned against, and then you meet a guy with a shotgun in the corner, and there's really nothing to pull on that scenario.
Okay, kind of a devastating first map here. If you're an Atlantis fan, you're looking for a perfect for 3 scenario, right? No mistakes to be had. Back onto the round rotate. The bands go through. It's going to be the Dokkaebi and the Cade taken off the board. It's a good one. The thing is with the Cade, yeah, it's going to deny you from getting in potentially. There's still the Thatcher, of course, that could be worked with. But, man, that leaves the Azami still up.
Yeah, Azami is the architect of, well, all of Siege, so break out the hammers and chisels and start setting up however you want. Instead, though, Encore elect to ignore her entirely. I mean, maybe this is more of a strat planning book that we see coming out of them. This defensive setup, it makes sense, and if you look at the operator choices here, it's really not people you'd see high up on the band boards, at least not for this map, you know? So I got a feeling a strat book came into play here. They're deciding, hey, let's stick to what we know and what we're good at, and leave Atlantis to maybe try and figure out the puzzle that we're crafting.
A little bit of an extension here. Castle's on the board. Interesting site choice. Consulate is unique in the Siege map pool in that it has a split site. So, yeah, have to defend above and below. How do you do that? A little bit of intel, with some C4s to back it up, and castle, right? Facilitate that extension. Force you to bring along operators that have to deal with those castle breakage. You have to expend utility and manpower. Push in towards the bottom of the yellow. I think they're going to try to get active real early on here. Look at how much space they're already taking up.
Well, a lot of teams, I mean, they immediately go for the A attack, and it's a smart play. Definitely the easiest access to get to from outside the building. There's a lot of angles to run into it. However, the issue that you run into if you do a direct A push is all the C4s down below. So take that basement push first. You're going to have defenders split amongst the 2 of them. We do have Tuchelos and Evan holding a little bit of a standoff to one another. I mean, here comes the flashbang, I'd hope, but it is a Warden, so maybe a flash isn't that big of a deal. Either way, if the swing happens, and it's going to, Ash is there. I was going to point out the footholds that his teammates should have been covering, but no. Instead, a free pick immediately to the side of Atlantis, trying to open this up, can of worms up. They're able to pick up another one here. As they do, I'm just going to Caster's Curse Encore as much as I can today, I guess. This could fall very heavy to the attack.
Yeah, it was a little bit of Peeker's advantage there. When you get sussed out by the drone, it's going to force movement. If there's no movement, it's a free pick. Nano's going to take one as the MP7 rings out. It's a double kill now on Sprite as it puts it into a 4v2. Low health for the Capitao, but still alive until they're not. P10 Roni takes one off the board. Slash to answer back. It's all going to be up to Scurry now, close to one of the frag leaders here for Encore. And he's got the P10. Not really the multi-kill gun that you want to have in your hands, because there's 16 bullets, means you got to be perfect. You got to be clicking heads. And he's able to find one, but not enough to get the job done. It's going to be Atlantis. Had to be perfect for 3, and they found their first.
Well, now they just got to play some denial here, right? Just, if you're on the side of Encore, deny sight, deny space. We see the Malusi coming in. I love it. Warden, he's just okay, I guess. But the Scopos, man, that's a pick and a half from the Sentry.
I like the Scopos.
Attackers need to
I think it gives you a good opportunity to get around the map very quickly. It gives you a little bit of utility towards that basically having that deployable shield with a cam on it. It's a fun pick, and not to mention the gun is an absolute laser beam, right? So in the matter of like clicking heads, yeah, this is a good operator to bring towards the table, and can give you a little bit of that vertical presence without having to dedicate a lot of resources and utility to it. If there's a Scopos up top, you don't just get drones in and know that you have top floor control. You actually have to get boots on the ground here, and I think that can play into some of that time denial.
Well, the Scopus is going to be setting it up to play far back. I mean, it's going to be a good roam drone or roam retake later on from him if he manages to keep his primary Scopus up and alive, or if he tries to gun out with this one. I don't mind it either. But that is a perfect flank spot if I ever seen one myself. This attack push coming in, we do have Slash once again playing as that Flores. Evan, though, this time bringing out the Amaru. I mean, quick plant, anybody? Question mark? He's already top of yellow stairs.
I don't think we're quite set up for a quick plant here. Well, especially we're going to see those first ring out, right? Scopos is going to find it, but life gets forfeited. The trade, the refrag is there. So does put us into a 4-4 situation. But when you see two drone operators on the board, quick plant is not the name of the game. Really, it's just getting in and taking space quickly, right? Evan gives himself the ability to get into any of the windows or up the hatch to be part of that play when it all starts going down.
Well, the Flores drone is going to be perfect there. I like the trade out of the Scopos for the Capital. He just took off, like, I want to say over half of this attacking utility that they kept in pockets for what? The cost of a good gun up on your team. W-Man's worth the death for it. But now a lot of utility being put to try and clear a way forward. They are droning out. We do have Evan getting a quick shotgun kill on Agoza. That lets them know that, hey, there's someone here, and they're not playing around. Has Nano absolutely pinched in. Nano could get some advantage of a good swing here. But the walk around from Tudilos to find Evan from behind. Good gun ringing out. 3v3 situation. Encore still have this one in the bag as the two win cons are currently up. And Screwy and Tudilos. And that smoke being on board with all of utilities still in pocket, that gets rid of a lot of their planned attempts. As you know, these guys do love to rely on their flashbangs. They've got a couple smoke grenades on that they're going to be playing into, I think, for that plant later on. They just cannot find an easy path forward as they're being cross-held by, well, I believe that's Screwy and Nano. And no, Tuchilos now walking up too.
Okay, they've taken the space of the invisible wall that you have to get through here, and so not a bad play out of the attack. One to equalize, or one to take that man advantage will give them the opportunity to start to get a plant down. Two to hold, one to plant. Now, you've got Smoke still sitting in here, but he doesn't have any of his canisters left, so not going to be a force, at least for the overtop part. Underneath, C4 does ring out, but it's not quite going to find the mark. Plant starting to go down. Shots are going to happen onto Screwy now. 19 seconds left, and they're just going to be left to hold here. Tough position to find yourself in the defense. In a perfect for three scenario, Atlantis looks like they're going to come up with their second one here.
I was going to say, it's a bit odd to see Nano playing down in that first floor, especially now when you have a teammate trapped. I understand maybe that vertical denial, he had the C4 in hand, does not land as Caleb hits the shots ring out, and we see Atlantis maybe bringing this one back.
A little bit of overtime for map one. I could be here for that.
Oh, God. I need to make some hot tea. Glitter, why'd you guys have to make me die and celebrate with you? Like, gosh.
Hey, Twitch partner's big deal. I was happy about it. Over celebrated myself as well. Atlantis timeout here. I like it, right? We talk about that timeout buff all the time, is that, you know, anywhere from 60 to 70% of the time, the team that takes the timeout can find a next round. It's a little late, but on a very important round such as this, not a bad time to take it. You get to talk about some of the options. You got to talk about some of the mistakes that are being made when getting into those pushes, right? And you get to build off a little bit of that momentum, right? Now it's going to be a big, impactful, this is it. This timeout could be the one that brings them into it and forces that overtime.
See, I think, how do I word this? That tack timeout advantage is starting to become the most overused, thing we've ever heard. Everybody always said, oh, they have X or Y advantage, and then it turns into, I don't know why. Recently, it's been a disadvantage. I think within my last 30 tack timeouts, only 2 or 3 of them have actually been won by the team calling it. Because the other guys are starting to make adjustments too. They know what you want to change because they're beating you. So they make the adaptation to keep it going.
I don't know. Stats don't lie. Stats don't lie.
The
60 to 70% of the time, it's a win. And the thing is, when you, I never cast it over 90, but but for sure, when you're the one taking the timeout, you have got something in mind, right? It's not a frivolous timeout. It's not, as long as you're not going into it and yelling, we suck, this sucks, we need a breather, right? No, if you're going into it with meaningful intel, with active change, not just, be better, then yeah, it wins. It happens. And it's over the halfway mark by a large margin.
Isn't Fabian the one who makes the timeouts of, F you guys, we suck, be better? And they that works, though.
Yeah, but Fabian's got so much aura. Like, he's literally the greatest art thing to happen to R6 ever. So, I mean, there is no other Fabian.
You say that as I'm literally saying right here, like, the greatest thing to ever happen to R6 ever, okay? Calm down.
I forgot about that part.
Self-confidence, baby. Either way we look at it, the push is going to be happening for that catering wall. You see that the bandit was there for a denial. However, ripping it open, playing below, that'll make that wall go really quick. Suddenly, no plate denial, or no wall denial able to come out of Nano's pockets. The bandit trick failed stupendously, but it worked. It bought him a little bit of time, right? And they had to use a little bit of utility to get through there.
Well, here's what we're looking at, right? If the first minute of the round is dedicated to intel, then I don't think they lose anything here. They've already got somebody in stairs in a good position to put pressure towards this midway point, which has been that main point of contest for taking up on 2F. I think this was a good move, right? And not enough time wasted for sure. Now they've got themselves into admin. It's time to put the pressure on to Goza and try to draw out those smoke canisters, right? Force the clash back so you can draw out those smoke canisters so you've got enough time to get in a plant. Not going to happen, though, if you just absolutely biff it. I mean, just absolutely falls apart here. 1, 2, 3, line them up, take them down. Smoke canister finds a kill, and Encore's looking to set this first game away.
You were giving them the hype of the century speech, and then they just absolutely biffed it. Yeah, they'll walk into a smoke as your Monty may not be the wisest of plays. However, you still have Slash and Disma up, 2 guys who are able to make plays on this team. They are, entirely across the map. Couldn't be further from one another. No refrag possibilities there. But 2 good solo gunners. They're going to be splitting the attention up pretty hard. And you do see Screwy's kind of locked in the middle here, wondering what he should do. Tubulos in that same kind of position. Slash gonna be going for some swings up here. Could find some free picks as Nanovirus just runs away. Doesn't even care. C4 is available though for this defense. They got 2 in pockets. It's gonna be hard to clear these clear these defenders out. And there is Dame to find the easy front pick, and Nano with another one for a flawless defensive round to put the first map away.
Yeah, it's just great. I mean, there was some real good stuff out of both sides, right? We almost see ourselves with an overtime scenario. You can see that Atlantis was making those live changes. Unfortunately for Consulate, Encore was just a little bit more prepared. The thing is, now for the next one, which was it Border? No, it was Cafe, right? Cafe is the next map?
Yes, the next map will be Cafe.
Yeah, so in the next 2 maps, Cafe and Border is going to have to see a stark change to the way that it's being played. So adaptation out of which side? Can't quite call it yet. It was a good first map, but Encore's going to take it.
You got to feel it. Who do you think for the overall arching of the night, Encore or Atlantis?
I think it depends on a couple of win cons, right? If Atlantis is able to play into the disruption game and set that pace early, then I think that the known quantities of Slash and a couple of these other players could probably bring it through. The other side of that coin, though, when you make this flip, is Encore is just firing on all cylinders, right? They're checking all of those boxes, whether defense or attacking, very well. So the coordination is huge, right? So if Encore continues to maintain that coordination together, then potentially they win this.
So I'm just going over the roles that Encore has given me for their players. I'll go over Atlantis here in a moment. Tudilos, one of the guys who absolutely gunned out, all right? He's just their flex. Screwy, the other absolute gunner on that stack that last map, he's their primary entry. They're having a lot of gunners. Dame, he's a gun. Like, I look at their roster, they have no supports. Glitter, they have no supports. Where is it?
Well, it was support and more of the fact that because they obviously played support operators, right? It's support more in the fact that there's comms going out, there's visual cams, and they're pushing in with the buddy system, right? Refrag potential was very, very high here, and they had the trade game honestly locked down, able to find those isolations, able to communicate that very well to each other, and so on Consulate, yeah, they're going to find a win. Some of those will become a little bit tougher for some of these other maps, right? Border, very run and gun. Very gun heavy map can work if you're starting on that defense doing that sort of thing, but still potentially, coordination could win through.
Yeah, I think Cafe, it is one that does play heavily into your team chemistry. Your site setups matter, don't get me wrong. Your operator lineup, that's all a major factor, but that's a siege component factor. Take a map like Clubhouse or Chalet. Those rely just on your team's composure in situations. You take a map like Cafe, it's going to come down to how you're calming, how your team mentality is moving forwards. There's no basic breakdown or system to push these maps. It's all going to be on feeling, and the only way to get good feeling is to have a long-standing or at least chemistry-based team, and not just a team of slot-and-go players of, I know you're going to be our hard breach, or I know you're good for this, go do that. Like, there's no set strategy for Cafe, in my opinion. At least not for attacking it. Defending it falls about the same way, really.
And defense is fairly is fairly easy, right? 3F is a solve site. The meta is second floor for both, and then you should win your bakery. Like, that's just how it should go. Cafe for sure has the potential to be incredibly defensive sided if you don't go to the third floor, I think.
That's really odd because the whole original meta for Cafe was upstairs, bakery, and then please don't play a middle floor site, just lose that one. Like, it was a determining 4-2 split map.
That was a long time ago. It is now like
old.
it's the meta across all maps, right? Like Chalet, first floor is the meta. Cafe, that's the same sort of thing. It's having the ability to be both on the second floor and the basement, right? Having to make multiple operators push multiple angles. And like for third floor, for example, right? Third floor on Cafe is a solved site. There's a very distinct way that you push it, right? You're getting on the windows, applying pressure towards cocktail. You're taking ticket and pushing over towards the bathroom and towards white stair, and then you're getting yourself in for a default plant, and that's the way it's played out almost every single time, right? So that is what we call one of those solve sites. So how does this force the meta change? Well, you go down to the second floor, right? You set up the third floor exactly like you would, and when the attack eventually runs through it, because they will most of the time, then you still have to drop another floor. Then you have another layer of defense that you have to get through, and if you have more on your team alive, you still got those C4s, then you still have the roam game and the lurk that you haven't got to pay too much attention to because you're busy taking that third floor. So contemporary siege right now, absolutely. Vertical is key, and first floors is the way to get that done, or second floors is the way to get that done.
My God, you're a fountain of knowledge, and I love every second of it. I'm learning more in this one night of casting than I have learned in 10 years of playing. Yeah, no. I can't even. How do I top that? How do I add to that? Glitter?
I think you say, thank you so much for having me on the stream, and we're gonna head to break.
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of thank yous, shout out to Starbro for the 2 subs, and we could head to break, but I think the teams are ready to dive into cafe already.
I am actually a one and done, unfortunately, for this evening. That was what we were talking about pre-show. Yeah, I don't have the opportunity to stay around for the next ones, but hopefully we can find somebody to jump here and duo it out with you.
All right, I'll start messaging around, but for now, we will see you later, Mr. Glitter. Have fun running the Gambinos. And for everybody who's still sticking around, what's up, guys? You're into the 4 show.
Peace, y'all. Thanks for the cast.
Yep, later, G.
Peace.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, and it is just me as we dive into Cafe. The teams are ready to go, and we're going to give them one heck of a show, right? Thank you guys so far, everybody, for coming out. Huge shout out to the Siege Double Shot and Glitter for just showing up and being here and helping support this one. Let's hit Cafe home. So, as you were saying, what makes Cafe just such a beautiful map used to be this 3rd floor, but everybody understands it now. The bakery has been a big keen part. These middle floors are almost untouchable. They're unsolvable for the attacking teams. It's a puzzle box that just keeps giving. So, I'm hoping we get some good, entertaining siege out of this one. This map should be absolutely gorgeous. The bands are rolling through. We do lose the Dokkaebi. The Mira is pulled as well. Now it's going to be a quick question of what else would you get rid of? Well, honestly, for Cafe, I'm getting rid of an Azami still. She is too powerful. Instead, the Brava in the castle are off board as well. Ah, man. A big blow for that defending team. Castle is very useful for some of those mid-floor setups. They allow easy extensions, easy lockdown holds. Excuse me. And Mira is just, well, banned everywhere for being too good. Sorry. Let me just go type a message. Alright. Let's take a fly through this map, alright? Let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. Good setups being set up. Wow, I just double talked myself there. And for a second I was thinking, man, this 3rd floor setup's looking a little bit weird. We're seeing a lot more of a lock-up style hold as they double reinforce off that kitchen or that bathroom window. Instead, no, it's so they can hold up above the A-bomb chassis. This one, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, goes mid-floor to reading dining room. And what better way to start off than just to reinforce the ideas we were giving you earlier on of those split style holds. They do have a Maestro on board who is a oddity character, but we've seen more and more of him come into play for this map, especially with these split site setups. Either way, this attacking team Atlantis needs to get aggressive for these windows early on. Start making some quick plays, start trying to dictate the pressure immediately. That's what we've seen Encore take heavy advantage of in their attacking rounds. Now, Atlantis needs to maybe do the same if they want to have that same kind of 5-1 split or 4-1 split. What was the last map? My brain doesn't work today. Either way, grenades coming in. Good pressure around his Sprite. We'll find that kill on the Tutulos. That is the teamwork and determination that we were talking about. Push and pull, you know, force around Tubulos to go down. And it only costs you a couple grenades and no damage. The Maestro, though, going to be burning into the back of Disma. And, ooh, I like it. That's what you expect out of your Capital. The utility for days slash eats a ton of damage here from those Maestro shooters. Evan clearing out the 1st floor now, swinging around upstairs is Disma, looking to see what he can find. Goza is still chilling in that back bar. And it could lead him to a free pick here if Disma overswings, and he does. Disma goes in, aiming high, pre-firing, but down. Slash to find Dame, though, as they make the push in. Goza goes out as well. Atlantis pulling up early on this map, stacking up some bodies there, up by 1 right now. It's going to be just a matter of time until we see a hard push down collapse. Evan does drop into that train mining room side now, clearing around towards the hallway. If he can get into the backside of reading without alerting them too much to his presence, this could fall very heavy into their side. We all hear that C4 ringing out, right? We all know it pretty much has to be Nano's. There was 2 of them standing right on top of it, and he did not blow it until too late as they're already gone. Nano going out for the shoot onto the Goyos. Instead, he costs him his life as Caleb's able to gun him down. Screwy though, LMG in hand, gonna spray towards Evan, and Evan from Atlantis finds the kill. Pulls Atlantis up, round 1, up 1 for map 2. An early, quick start for him. Whiskey said, sorry to not be here for the rest. Time was the 6th man for me, and I only got 1 tonight. You're all good, Glitter. We appreciate you. We love you for coming out here and showing some love to the small, stupid streamers like myself. I'm calling myself small and stupid. The rest of these streamers, these guys are awesome. Like Cards, Sinnoh, all them dudes. Absolute legends among this scene. Me, I'm just here having some fun, and I'm lagging while I'm at it. Oh boy. Siege servers, please don't die on me tonight. May have to take a quick rehost for myself. A flight out of city, if you will. Either way, looking back into this one, they are bringing a good extension up for that first floor. Looks like they're going to be pulling out and trying to hold up and take on that cigar shop. A lot of teams don't ever think about that. They don't hold cigar shop. Holy cow, that's getting really, really laggy. Where's the match chat? Let me go see if the teams are complaining about it. No. Not a word to have been said. This attacking team, though, already calling in 1 line scan when they're not even in position to start aggression. Window repels from Evan, though. This is the pressure we talked about in the pre-show. Apply from the outside and then clean out the inside, right? Just get aggressive. Heat your maintained aggression up, though. You can't give and then stop. Once you guys start to push, you got to maintain and pull the push. Caleb going over for a grenade going out. Ringing rounds into Nanovirus. That's a easy, quick kill succession for him as they lose their sentry. And Evan is now in deep, finding almost the head of Tubulos. But Tubulos to gun him down. That clash coming in handy. Clutch from her. And a grenade to take out Goza. There goes your clash. Tubulos is up and aggressive though, playing forward. Takes on the Shaiko hold. Gets 1 rip. 2 rip as he's up for a 3K. And Dame there to find Slash. Now it is down to Caleb into the 1v3. Not a great position for him. And Diffuser is still outside Atlantis. They started this round a little quick and with some good aggression points. But then they collapsed it as soon as that first pick happened. Caleb now in, trying to find Tubulos. Instead, we're going to see Dame pick him from a long angle. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, this is going to be a bit of a rough and choppy one. I am sick. I am not feeling the greatest. But we'll be doing our best? Yeah, doing our best to keep things going here and keep a at least consistent tone of voice for the stream, right? We're going to try and get hype when we need to. But man. Whew.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
Coming into this next round. Take a sip of water. Coming into this next round, they will be dropping it down for that basement hold. We've seen Atlantis now pull up a couple different sites every time, or Encore pull up the different sites every time. That's kind of the way you want to keep it, you know? Keep them guessing. Never play the same place twice in a row, especially if you, well, only if you just lose it, right? Keep the pressure in the guessing game alive. Now, sure, it is only Siege. They're going to just drone you out. They have the whole drone phase to find you. It's not like the map is changing and ever evolving. Well, Ubisoft, it's a cool idea, you know?
Attacker's objective is to defuse
There's only
the
so
bomb.
many ways you can set this up. And they do choose to go for the more aggressive style hold, making the head and feet holes across that backside of the freezer wall. Ace going to be ripping open now for Garage, though. The push is going to be starting out a little bit more vertical-sided for this attacking team. What they don't know is there's nobody off on an extension upstairs. They are all just spread across that first floor. Keeps a lot of pressure down low where you want it. However, you've got to have something to make these guys afraid to push. If you don't put any bodies upstairs, they're going to just clear it out really quick, and then suddenly they're collapsing on you with still a minute 20 left in this round, right? Either way, no matter how you want to look at it, the drones are coming in very heavy from the Atlantis side. But speaking of very heavy from the Atlantis side, we got Evan and Caleb coming down those white side stairs. The heavy was for the gridlock, but tis. You hear the joke sound? Yeah. Sound effects, ladies and gentlemen. That definitely wasn't just me making noise. And the vert game is going real strong here now. We do see Caleb getting a pick down onto Dame. And the vertical is being ripped open. They have the Rams absolutely everywhere. There's not a safe spot really to stand in sight. Doesn't matter much because all of our defenders are out dancing around. Tutulo's quite literally taking the sidestep with Evan. Just having a little bit of fun. Grenades coming in. Not going to land on him. And you know what they're trying to do. They want to bait Tutulos into a swing somewhere. Overconfident or extend him here. A grenade to land right on Tutulos' head though. Screwy coming over to help out. Caleb up to a grenade kill. 2K on this round. As down goes Tutulos. You lost Dame earlier on. Encore needs to find a way to get a couple bodies back on their side, but when you got this Blackbeard playing as aggressive as he is, the Ace ripping open every wall he can think of, things tend to lean immediately towards that attacking side. Blitz bringing the pressure up as he is coming in. Or sorry, Blackbeard, God, not Blitz. But goes in there to find Caleb. We're going to see Nano take down Disma. Blackbeard is still up and alive. However, he's about half HP. Slash holding that vertical. Sprite going for the big swings here, but not landing no damage out yet. And there are still C4s on board for these defenders. They have a lot of utility to burn. Goza scared about the vertical. We will see Nano get dropped down from Sprite. The sight push is coming. There's an easy kill for Screwy as down goes Sprite. And Screwy is waiting. He's got the Blackbeard pushing up on him. Finds him in the feet. There's Goza up above for Slash. And Encore surmount that comeback on this round. On the backbone of those SAS operators. Those shotguns do ring true. At least 95% of the time. Man, my head is pounding. And those last sets of bans coming in, you know that last round played massive into the impact of what these defenders wanted to get rid of. Out goes the Blackbeard. There goes your Malusi, though. So you lose a little bit of time denial, but not that bad. Whenever you think about how fast that Blackbeard was able to take sight, how aggressive he was at pushing in onto this Encore defense, Blackbeard, absolute W of a ban. Oh my. All right. Excuse me. Oh god, we have another grand finals best of 5 tomorrow as well. That's gonna be fun. Screwy looks like he's just trying to bait these guys into over-aggressing towards his location. He wants that push to come up for those white side stairs. He's opening up every foot hole, head hole, leg hole, arm hole he can think of. Sorry, I was just running out of body parts to name. And they do have a good upstairs vertical extension, locking down that top floor. That bathroom's gonna be next to impossible to aggress to as long as they're able to keep the bodies up to gun out on it. Goes to taking that first engagement against the Ash, but no damage landing either direction. We're going to see Atlantis try for these window pressures again. They've been working so well. But they need to maybe dedicate a body to guarding against the runouts. We do have, I believe that was Nano playing down there. He's in position to swing whenever he feels ready.
I'm not ready to go.
I mean, if you land a good runout, you can clear out most of these attackers. Evan to find that kill on a Tutulos. However, Nanovirus is there frying one down as Sprite will go. Sprite gone, and I mean, honestly, that's kind of a big pick onto your gridlock. Desma does drop for Bar. In doing so, though, he gets almost entirely pinned out. Nano eats a lot of damage running away from these red stairs. He has to play against the Buck, and he is choosing just to keep dipping out of there. He does not want any of the smoke. Dame to find Desma, though. Good shots coming up from him. That DMR will land heavy. Goza still laying in the washrooms waiting. He's got people all around him. Evan is trying to get in through and clear. Ike's waiting to hit the backstab, or at least that side pressure when these guys start attacking that vertical. However, a quick peek from Buck will find him. Goza getting out of there, taking the trade out, and getting rid of Evan. Now it's just Caleb left into a 1v3. No attacker or much utility on board. Nothing for the vertical. Just a DMR and a couple of lion scans in the pockets for him. He does have the drones up. Or at least the active ones that are out. And with a hot drop down hatch, we'll see Nanovirus fry him down. As Encore put themselves up 3-1 for their defenses so far. For a map that does tend to lean defender sided, a 4-2 defense is kind of normal. A 5-1 defense, though, on any map is just extremely rare. A 6-0, that's impossible at this point, so we're not going to get into that. I'm still just sitting here thinking, man, Starbro, you subscribed for this. Me at my worst. I did have glitter on. That was honestly really cool.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
No worries, Starbro. I promise I will be putting on a better show for you. My subscriber. And everybody watching, I don't beg for subscribers. You don't have to. I prefer if you didn't, honestly. You give me unreal expectations that I put on myself when I get those. Either way, we're once again lagging it up for the defensive setups. We are going to be seeing Screwy playing down here in that kitchen side of what is looking like so far a heavy upstairs defense. You've got to find a good way to keep this one locked in. Spunzel says, I played Caleb earlier in ranked. Oh, did he do good? Did he beat you? I just need to know.
Spotted a bomb.
Right now, Atlantis at least has the right idea for a push. Got the Monty on board. We do have a hot drop here from Evan. He is fried down by Dame, though. Lands a round into Screwy. Caleb to find Dame off the side angle. There goes your Azami, and there goes your easy hold for Cocktail. Downward drop slash now, trying to retake some of this red stairs control that his teammate got. But what do we see down here? I thought I saw somebody roaming, but it may have been a drone. Caleb will find another one off windows. Down will go Nanovirus. Now Screwy and Tutulo stacking it up here. Goza still has his shield at least to play behind. That is some absolute of safety right here, right? Some echelon of safety, something of safety, right? I don't know. My words aren't working right, man. I usually have good, intricate words to use. Goza eats a ton of damage though. Goodbye to the shield. Tutulos to find a good pick there onto Disma. However, Slash will take Screwy down. And Slash eats a ton of damage. Those Tutulos crosses over. Goes going to be going for the lockdown on Whitehall. They got to clear Tutulos. This becomes a lot easier of a push. But Tutulos doesn't go down easily as he finds one onto Caleb. We do have Goza playing up against the Monty here. Monty deciding to drop the shield down, pull the pistol. And now trying to play aggressive. But Slash to gun him down, find him out, and frag him out. Tutulos now holding angle, waiting for that Monty to do something stupid. Instead, now we're going to see Tuchelos go. He wants to find Slash as he rotates. They got the live pings on him. Hits the pre-fire kill. Tuchelos up to a 3K. One more left. Is this the Monty? He puts some rounds to the feet of him. But they need to find the heads, right? The heads got to connect. Sprite going to be moving up. Pushing forward. Trying to play the Monty crouch game. Pulls the pistol and guns him down as Atlantis pull a good attacking round from the ashes there. Toot Luis. Oh, I call him Toot Luis. I guess it is Toot Luis. Oh well.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I don't think it's my side. Tutulos seems to be lagging pretty good. Everyone seems to be lagging pretty good. Let's see what kind of Screwy could put into the feet of these attackers. Setting up a pretty interesting looking Denari trap so far. A lot of chaining, a lot of linking. I love the style, I love the setup. Denari has been one of the best additions, I think, to this game in a very, very long time. She makes you get out your protractors and try and remember what they taught you in math about Pythagorean theorems and stuff. Either way, we got Slash now making his walk up for red stairs. Could be an easy, quick claim. However, that's something you usually do from Hatch. Push him to white and, man, let him rip up, right? Or have him play the vert. Have him maybe set up angles. Now, we know that Encore, last time they defended, they did rotate a lot through that bar. You got to keep some head hold or some aggression and hold on to that. Caleb trying to get rid of that clash shield. Will miss it just as the round flies out of his gun. But still managed to pick nothing from it. Screwy is going to be clearing out for this reading room side. He's got Slash over in his pillar side. And Slash does have good positioning here to maybe find some kills. Goes going to be eating a lot of fire here, taking a lot of damage. However, an easy kill for Disma to hit the head, or Screwy as he hits the head of Disma. We do lose Tutulos, and we got Goza down at 1 HP. His fire bolts are amazing as Caleb will lay another one into him, taking him down. Now Screwy left very, very low as he goes for the back off here. Upstairs has so far been biting Encore in the back from a game that has went very much in their favor in the terms of frags and gun skill. Dude, just these sudden beautiful executes from Atlantis, pushing the way behind Sprite on that Monty. I think Evan and Sprite here do make a insanely good wombo combo. You got the Monty in your face, trying to be aggressive. We do have some smokes coming out from Caleb. Rotates coming around. Monty eats a round to the chest, manages to stay up though. Evan let the DMR go, not able to find nothing with it. And then Caleb trying to play aggressive behind. See what he can take. However, Screwy hears him on the rappel, takes him down. Up to a 2K on this round. And now Evan has got to make the clutch factor exist here. Sure, you've got the Monty. Nano to find Evan though. Hitting the arm doesn't matter much. Then Dame onto the Monty as Encore go 4-2 and they're split. A decent hold there from Encore, I think, is what kind of solidified that play. Now, for the next set of bans, we will be watching the Atlantis defenses as hopefully they're able to spark something to life here. I mean, Cafe, it is normally defender-sided. However, a Jaeger ban is a definite oddity from your attacking team, Encore. Don't know what that's about. But then they lose their Yeg in retaliation. Following that in with Wamai and Capital. It seems like these guys don't want to have anything restricting their grenades. which either means a quick plant or they're going to be a very utility heavy team. And right now, with the Lion, the Ash, I mean, that is some quick, good util.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by...
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I figured out why we're seeing Screwy play the Ash right now. Because her pellet or her charges screw into the wall whenever she shoots them. That's the only reason why.
Reinforcing wall.
Where is the match chat for this game? Where is the match chat for this game? Where is the match chat for this game? I wonder who it is. Sorry guys, I'm just talking to myself here as I try to ask if we can rehost the lobby after this game.
Reinforcing the wall. Reload.
Alright, now. Coming into it, sorry about that little bit of intermission of me not talking again. Trying to save my voice as well as I was looking some things up. Encore gonna be playing a very, very aggressive direct style attack. Dame gonna find one with the glass and goes to eats a little bit of damage here from those smokes, from the guns. This Blitz is left vulnerable. Tutulos will go in and find Evan. However, Sprite is right there to gun him down. They need to start maybe making this play forward here as their Blitz is left at 1 HP. He is their planter. He's the one where the ball all rides on.
Cover me. Reload.
However, he does have Nomad playing his cutoff window. Dame to find another one. His Slash will go down. Suddenly, it's a 2v4, and you can get easy access to the site if you want it. Caleb is defending from up above. Sprite has some good angles to play. Impact out. However, Nano's right there waiting outside the window, baiting it out, playing smart for his team. And the diffuser will be running in through Bakery hopefully soon. Caleb is still, again, up above. Has a nice long angle to deny that walkthrough. Blitz, as low as he is, really cannot survive too much damage here. They've got to find a way forward, right? Well, they'll attempt to. However, Caleb gonna gun down Gozer from up above. Diffuser now left laying. I believe that's a long angle for Dame as he pulls out a 3K as Encore takes their first opening attack with a glass of Blitz rush through Bakery. GG's, ladies and gentlemen. That's a great round. It was a well-timed and good-paced execute, I want to say. I wonder if that's the reason I'm getting some lag. Let me just close that. And let me... Okay, I am disconnected from the VC.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs
Okay,
as
let
they
me...
can.
I'll spectate this round and we'll check and see. I think we may have fixed it, though. We gotta release some of this little bit of lag. Man, they're just throwing their drones away right now to the Solus, who's already picked 3 on this round. And, I mean, another 2 is really not that difficult, right? She hears it. There's the 1. I mean, I know, oh, it's a drone ace, but a drone ace is a massive intel blow. And Atlantis wants to take any advantage they can get a hold of right now. Evan may be going for a spawn peek on that coach check side. They are setting up for the mid-floor defenses with a little bit of a vertical extension here. And with the Mira left on board for her, that can at least guarantee you some level of, well, high IQ plays, right? The rush now, moving in, coming across. It's going to be a vertical drop-down push, as we've seen time and time again from, well, basically everybody. Track Stingers in from Dame, trying to find anybody he can. The rest of this attack, though, are just going for the windows. Trying to play it aggressive, trying to get something open. They've got to find anything they can. And Evan, for the jump out, blown off the roof, still alive. Goes back over to the hole he originally opened in that window. Plays like that, I mean, that's the 1,000 IQ that we talked about Siege players having. Disma will be finding a good pick there as Nano will go down. That opens things up into Atlantis' favor already as Tutelos is extremely low. Screwy and Tutelos, though, gonna put the screws to that plan. Dave can be found. Screwy is found. Goza does get Disma down to Tutelos and Goza into a 2v2 against Slash and Sprite. The time to now is still on the side of this defense that they have all those Goyo canisters up. The smoke's in hand. Slash has some Kiba barriers. He hears Goza standing close on those red stairs. That DM more into close range engagement might not be bad. Grenade left behind as a welcoming present there for Slash, but he doesn't walk up to go claim his gift. And Goza to immediately gun down Sprite down below. Diffuser left outside. Doesn't matter. His Tutelos will run around until he finds that pick. Down goes your defense. We now go 6-2 up for Encore. And what could be a I almost said a 6-7 match. A 7-2 night if they're able to close this one out early. Then they'd be up 2 maps over Atlantis in a best-of-5 series. That's not what we want to see. We want to see Atlantis bring this one back a little bit. Dig the heels in. Put up some resistance on these defenses, right?
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Oh my. Yeah, I think N1 I solved the lag issue on my end. It's because I had Video Ninja still open, streaming the game out. So like when Glitter was here, as well as I had Discord link open so we could pull his mic in because I couldn't pull his mic through Video Ninja for some reason, and I also had what was it open? Internet Explorer for other things. But I think we should have solved it. Should be good. We aren't lagging as bad. I still think that there may be a server issue with Siege though. Evan is going for the spawn peak. Finds it on the nanovirus as Atlantis pulls another opening pickup on their side. Evan just playing so aggressive and working out in his favor. Taking down a good Swiss Army knife as Nano, they're, I want to keep calling him Sentry. But he's not. Striker will go down. But as he tries for the jump out, goes in to shoot him and shoot the body. Just a little bit of toxicity to make it fair, right? You're going to spawn peek, we're going to shoot your body. And Evan to call him out in chat and say scoreboard is wild. Evan is actually gold. Like, actually. I mean, he might be. However, that run out, it worked pretty well. Go's gonna be getting those Grim Bees in there, prepping out the execute. Grenades following in behind them. Let's see what they can make play here. Disma does have a good hold. However, he may not be able to hold it down as there's a lot of bodies stacking up there. Slash making the play for the windows here. If he manages to hit a jump out onto Goza, I will be insanely surprised. He can hear one, and there goes Screwy's head as Slash is right there to find him. Good pick in his favor. Now 4v3. Right now Encore down in the life advantage. However, they still have how many rounds up on these guys. Tutelos is in, walking bar himself. Finds a free one there onto Sprite. And is now taking through the backside. Down to the smoke. Disma to take him. Disma down to Dame. Slash still up in a 1v2 situation. Finds Dame. Now it is Goza versus Slash. 1v1. Who can execute? There's still a minute left for this game of Ring Around the Rosie, pocket full of Posey, to continue going on. Slash could be coming in for his swings. They have some knowledge of one another. They can hear him. It's just a game of holding it. Who can go first? And there it is Slash to line them up and win it. 3-6. At least Atlantis is making some sort of effort for a comeback. Money on Screwy, what's the word? $100 starting bid. Everybody is calling, I believe, Encore Team Screwy right now, and I mean, it may be Team Screwy, but it is currently the Tutulos and Dame era. Clash and Nomad gonna be saying goodbye. That Nomad is a bit of an oddity. However, we have seen Evan going for some runouts, playing super aggressive, so I'm not gonna hate it. I rather enjoy that ban.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
The Thorn coming out for the side of Disma here. Karma would be so happy. That's the Karma main right there. That's an inside joke. Some of you may understand. Either way, we're going to be seeing a lot more Thorn, I think, in the competition as of late. Once she got that buff, she became just an absolute monster. Hard to push against. And
10 seconds left.
really, I mean, her guns are pretty solid. That SMG pistol, combo that up with how hard the Uzi hits. I don't remember what they said that Uzi's chambered in, but it's definitely a big gun. Evan wanting to hit himself a spawn peek again. Sees the buck, knows where it's coming from. And he is watching, waiting, swinging. Down will go Screwy as Evan finds another opening kill for his team. Last time he did this, they won that round. I want to know if he can do that a couple more times to make the comeback.
Reloading.
However, Encore only needs to pick up one round here on their attacks. If they're able to do that before they let Atlantis push any further, oh. Two Elos to find Sprite, a good pickup for his team, getting rid of that Goyo. All utility is deployed from those, so he was nothing more than just a very good gun in hand. So, I mean, call that how you will. I still like the pick. However, you did lose your buck in the opening engagement of this round. One of your key utility pieces for a vertical push down. Dame is deep into Cigar. They got live pings coming out. They know Tubrow is up there being aggressive to him. They need to get over towards him and find him now. Caleb going to get dropped by Nanovirus from, I believe that was a window repel. Found as he rotated the cutoff plate, very smart. "4v3, this is still anybody's game, anybody's round. Atlantis could always drop some bodies really quick and just take Encore out. It's all going to depend on what this team's now holding up. We see Evan holding down that long into Brown stairs, Slash playing around him as well. Disma is the only guy left right now in sight, and he's being targeted hard by Adamos. The X2 going to be pushing to clear. Evan goes up, but Slash gets gunned down through the wall by Tutulos. Evan forced up red stairs by that Monty, and Monty just saying, all right, hey guys, peace. We're going to push for sight, leaving Dame to take the 1v1 now against Evan. Disma has got to withstand the surge of players. Finds an angle on a Tutulos, however, Tutulos fries him down free. 3K this round. Pistol out from Evan, and Disma to find him, or Tutulos with some of those Thorn Mines. That's the first Thorn kill I've seen in so long. Popping that fire, Nanovirus gets hit through the wall. Evan picking up some great kills. However, this Damos tracker on him is going to be hard to clear from. Grenade there, and there's one for Dame as Encore win this map 7-3 over Atlantis. All right, now Encore is looking absolutely on fire, putting up some stellar rounds, pushing forward. I'm really excited to see what this next map is going to bring us, though. The next one is where we hope to see Atlantis go for the reverse sweep, right? Bring it back around. It is Border. There's still a lot left to play for, but we're going to be taking a quick commercial break. I mean, not commercial break. We're just going to my away screen. I don't do commercials around here. This is 2026. Twitch could take their ad money and shove it. But we'll be right back while I get a drink, while the team's ready up, and we prepare now for map 3. See ya in probably 2 minutes. Alrighty, welcome back everybody as we now prep it up for map 3. It is the ever so important one, right? This is where it all comes down to. Right now, Encore up 2-0, taking a heavy lead. And what has honestly been a very good showing from them. 7-3 and 7-5. If they want to keep the trend going, hit them with a 7-1 on border, right? Encore will be starting it out with the defense here. Border tends to be, again, you can't do any predictions with maps anymore. Because how do you say for every map? Well, it could go either way. We've seen so much on border, and it's all just dependable on who is winning it. Who is that winning mentality team? Who has that chemistry and coordination with one another? But the teams are ready to rock it in. Let's lock it in and head to border now. Diving in. Let's go. Sorry, I'm just using filler words because I'm waiting on them to start it. Anyway, border, ladies and gentlemen, go. The map is controlled by the CCTV square right here. You can hold those long upstairs hallways, you can gun across to that east side, and it is just a make or break point. But downstairs in those servers rooms are where things tend to get really interesting. Because there's not much coverage. Not for a defense, not for an attack. Bands already coming in online. We Doolies, the Ying, and the Monty following up with a Mira and a Clash, and we are still lagging it up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I got Linelli, 1K on Encore. Who's going to match it? AATM. Better hit the ATM. Saying, let's double it. Put money on Screwy.
Defenders protect your bombs by attackers.
Right now, Encore have been the ever so dominant faction. There's a good possibility that they might. So instead of betting that money, I could use the 1K, guys. I'm gonna slide that over here. I'll take your betting money. Let me be the middleman. $1 grand, I might scam. I'll be honest with you. I'm kidding. My reputation's worth more than that. Or is it? Find out if you did. It actually is, guys. This is. Please acknowledge this is a meme. What's not a meme is how dog my internet is right now. Holy crap.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Trying to do map flyovers is next to impossible, ladies and gentlemen. We are jittering around like a crackhead on a bicycle. Hoo-wee. Either way, they do have an aggressive style setup here. Electing not to reinforce off that single wall in office where Nano's playing behind is usually a mistake some teams rarely make. Very for a quick peek though is Dame. He wants to find Slash. He wants to show Slash he might be the better guitarist, as Evan will find Goza with that shotgun. Let it sing. 2 elos on to Caleb. Sprite is in though for that armory push. I believe Disma is trying to play out for the quick control. However, Dame to fry down Evan. 2 elos down in sight. Good kills coming out from both sides. This one is looking a little bit nasty as Plant will go down from Slash or attempt to. C4 out, puts it deep. Damage to Slash, but not enough for a kill. Is Dame going to make the push across? He is flashed out. Good killer coming from Sprite as he picks up a 2K. That's all going to be about what Nano can make out of this one. He is planting for safety. He's got the blitz covering. He's got the window coverage. Now that the diffuser's down, he's even got his gun up. Nano does pull one in for the clutch so far. It is Disma and Sprite still up. Sprite with that 2K so far in this round. Disma going to be controlling from windows. Hits him with a 1-tap. Good night, Nano. As Atlantis take round 1 for this map 3. I believe they did the same thing on the last map. Oh my. Guys, don't let your parents ever fool you. Dayquil sucks. Don't drink it. It's nasty. Like, no matter if they say, oh, this is good. I am 23 years old. I will tell you heart to heart, Dayquil is the most nasty medication you ever had. I would rather lick a bottle of Vicks clean than drink Dayquil or NyQuil.
Wall is fortified.
Anyway, we see this Encore defense once again bringing it upstairs, playing for this setup, bringing the cross angle now over into CCTV. We seen him do it last time. Usually that is the primary objective hold there. Screwy does have a shield set up now this time, hopefully to contest a little bit towards that armory wall. That was a easy take for that blitz last round.
5 seconds
With
to go.
Sprite locking the blitz up again, expecting another quick push. However, this time they don't have the glass to hide behind. They don't have the easy smoke screen of a push. But they do still have Slash bringing it up with the sense. Now, he didn't get any picks that last round, but he is just a stellar operator to have on board. Nobody really talks about or thinks about how good a sense is for a lot of execute scenarios. Slash go for the window play. We will lose Caleb to that opening pick from Dame. Spawn peak hitting this time, giving Evan back, well, Evan and Co back a little bit of that early damage that they had to face last time. And there's Slash as Dame pulls another one. Blitz now gonna fly in the window. Want to hunt Dame down. Dame gonna eat some rounds though from the doorway. Hits another one for a 3K as he walks away perfectly healthy. You know, 1 HP in a dream, but still perfectly healthy for Siege. It's down to Disma and Evan seeing what they can lock in and come together and formulate here. Man, the consistent FPS issues that we're taking right now, or that's Aura right there, chat. That's Aura. Encore do have good position to win this round out. Spread out very well across this map. They have that kind of invisible wall front holding. And right now, Atlantis are just struggling to find a way to poke and prod it right. With a good aggressive hold like this, nothing will ever really penetrate except for getting a couple early easy kills. Flashback out from Disma, but a C4 thrown right back at him saying, hey, I've got one of those too.
Loading new maps.
Yeah, I know N1, the stream's lagging. It's on my end. It's gotta be. It's Siege itself. I think we're coming through clear, or we should be at least. A kill from Nano onto Evan, leaving Disma left to a 1v5 clutch to win the round, and at least put your team up another one here. However, the way Encore is setting this up, they are pre-firing everything around Disma. There is not a wall safe from being pre-fired, not a window not being hit. Screwy to hit him in the face from a long angle with that FMG, and that's a headshot clean one for a flawless defensive round from Encore.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many.
And out for a downstairs Teller's bathroom defense setup. Screwy gonna be putting the screws to them once again on that Denari. Upstairs being locked down and held up by Tuchilos and Dame. Those two should be playing a pretty dynamic role off of one another. The smoke should go well hand in hand with this DMR goddess that we know Aruni is. Goza eating some very, very fast early damage. That is a lot of hits taken, but still managing to stay up. I seen this point made about Pro League the other day. All this utility that's placed around the map, it all is well and good. Everybody likes it, except in competitive play. It's always destroyed early on. Screwy just hits a floor bang and a half onto Disma, just pre-firing it upstairs. And Tutulos will be gunned down immediately by the Blitz. Sprite eating some damage here and there. Damn to go down though. And the vertical is now being pushed through. That Blitz did an excellent job at taking some space there. However, gotta give some credit over to Screwy with that random floor bang. Exposing his foot though to Evan. They need to make a push and a play through. This attack has started to stall out after they gain that man advantage. They do not have very much space really to go with it. There's a minute 37 left in this round though. So they have all the time in the world to hold and wait. However, you start holding for too long, you're going to get complacent to this defensive style of play. And that's what they want you to do. Goza waiting for that drop down his hatch. Here's the phone call coming. Getting rid of it. We do see the Blitz making the rotation over. They need to maybe play into one another just a little bit here. Goza looks like he's trying to aggress upstairs. Getting rid of their cams. And Caleb is still holding down that hatch. Evan setting in the live drones. We got Sprite stacking up Slash on the other hatch. That quick execute coming in and Slash hot drops it straight down in. Finds the head of Nanovirus. However, Goza's right there. Screwy to go down. Goza's still up. Putting rounds out towards Evan, but Evan gets the double kill. Putting that round away for the attackers of Atlantis. Final ban phase for this half. What can they make out of it? Well, there's a lot you have to get rid of here, right? The Aruni has just been terrifying with that DM.